Hi my people, this is Grace and today I'm bringing you the pros and cons of home ownership. I know what you're about to say. Grace, we already know the pros and cons. You haven't had my pros and cons, so please, you need to stick around until you hear the cons, okay? Because then you have to think about the pros as well as the cons. Point number 1 is the income. Homeownership helps you acquire income. Say for example, if you use that property as a rental or rent out a room while you're still living there, that's source of income, right? Point number 2, depreciation. Depreciation actually is a tax benefit. For residential properties, it's 27.5 years. So it's a rate that you actually depreciated upon for the wear and tear on the property. And that helps you get more money or keep more money in your pocket. Point number 3, it is equity. Equity, equity, equity. I love this word equity. Initially, when I found out about equity, I was like, what? Literally, that is savings. That is like a saving account, but in your home, right? Because you can use that money in different ways. Equity is the difference between how much you have in a house and how much you actually owe on the mortgage. So say for example, you paid down this house for, this is a 100,000 property, right? And you've paid down 50,000 and you have 50,000 in equity, right? So that means you owe 50,000 to the bank and now you have 50,000 in equity. And also when we go to appreciation, you might actually have a lot of equity in there because appreciation actually is based on the neighborhood. It's based on what's going on in the area that's going to bring the appreciation up, right? So how your home increases in value, which is the next point, is your appreciation. And that's a big thing because most times we don't think about location when we are purchasing, but that's always a big strategy. Think about location because if you choose the right location, your money will come back in a form of appreciation, not just the income. Next is about leverage. So leverage, how you can utilize that home to make money for you, right? So you can get a line of credit. You can refinance it and get some of that money back. The $50,000 we talked about that you would have paid down, you can use some of that money to put in a new business, right? Especially as new business owners, sometimes you need some cash. Instead of you going to the banks to borrow money, and sometimes they will charge you high interest, especially it being for the business, because it will be considered a commercial loan. Guess what? Use the equity in your home because that will help you build your business. And it might have low interest rates too. The other thing I love about real estate, y'all, is economic empowerment. It's a big wealth builder. Majority of middle income households actually have most of their wealth in home ownership. So if you don't have a home, it's hard for you to get to the mark of even being a middle income household. Home ownership is a big thing. In fact, it's one of the biggest wealth builders in the US. Because if you think about the wealth gap, it keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. And that's because so many people right now are not homeowners, and especially minorities. So think about that before you make these decisions of waiting before you purchase. Think about what can you do right now to empower your next generation, right? Because you want to make sure you secure some assets that you can always pass on to your next generation and also for you, for the future. So many times people are retiring and they don't have nothing to show for. Social Security is not even enough. So what do you have that you can utilize to help you when you get older? And this is the power of home ownership. And now we're going to share the cons. The first con I would mention is the high cost. This is a big investment, right? So think about it. It's going to cost more. So sometimes people shy away from that because they think about it and they're like, I don't want to get in debt. But this is good debt. It's not the regular credit card debt, because that's a depreciating asset. This is an appreciating asset. So stop shying away from getting a home because you're scared of the debt, because it will continue growing in your favor. Point number 2. It's about low liquidity. And in this, I mean that when you want to sell it or get quick cash, sometimes it might take a little time. So have some other strategies lined up so you're not trying to get that cash right away, right? So I look at homeownership as a long-term strategy. So for people who are looking for short-term ways to get money, think about maybe the stock market, because homeownership and also investing in real estate has to be a long-term play, because according to the people I actually follow who have succeeded in this, they are all long-term investors, because that's what they always say, that that's how you make money in real estate, by holding in the long term. So for the low liquidity, I don't know how to combat that. All you have to do is figure out what is your strategy, because if your strategy is short term, you might have to consider a different asset investment strategy. Point number 3. Some liabilities can be attached to it. Say for example, rehabbing, okay? Management. There are so many different liabilities that might be involved, okay? But that's why it's very imperative that you have insurance. Flood insurance, hazard insurance. Have all this insurance that's gonna protect you, because you never know what's gonna happen. In Louisiana, we have hurricanes sometimes. So I can say for last year, when we had the hurricane, so many people had floods, and also they had damages to their roofs. So if you didn't have insurance and you're gonna depend on FEMA or on the government, sometimes that limits how much help you can get. But if you had insurance, sometimes the insurance steps in and it helps you rebuild that property. So please keep up with that insurance. And also, in addition to the liability, make sure before you send any and every contractor out there to work on your home, make sure you have some agreement written down, because you don't want a contractor to put a lien on your house for work they actually didn't even do, just because you had a verbal agreement and they didn't do the work, but they thought they can take advantage of you as the homeowner. So please have that agreement in writing before you accept anybody to do work on your home. And also make sure they have their own insurance, because that will help you. Point number 4, it takes a lot of patience. You have to be patient as a homeowner. You have to be patient. Everything takes time. So say for example, you want this house to, I don't know, you want to fix it up. Take time, talk to some professional before you actually do that, okay? Because you have to be patient. Talk to a professional, do some research before you do any and extra things onto your house, because sometimes all those additions do not amount to money, and you don't want to continue wasting more money into a house and that money might never come back to you. So it does take a lot of patience, and even if you're building, that takes time. Anything you try to do on the house, you're waiting on everybody else's time, so that takes time. Last but not least is point 5, which is talking about the unique risks. Real estate has its own unique risks, okay? These risks include the timing is everything, the location, the tenants, how you manage the property, and who you allow in your property. So all those are unique risks. So talk to some professionals out there who can help you, and also do your research, because that will help you actually get better prepared in this home ownership journey. And thank you again for watching. It's been my pleasure sharing with you, and until next time, you'll stay blessed.